All right, so we have a pretty crazy story here. So this is, of course, a massive, massive story that honestly got a little bit buried under a lot of stuff. Like looking at the Hill's most popular articles of the day, it's not. It doesn't even hit on the top, which is pretty surprising. But anyways, Jeff Sessions, right? Horrible human being. He's Trump's attorney general, of course. Now, if you don't know, Trump and Jeff Sessions have hated each other for a long time now. Trump has lambasted Jeff Sessions publicly. He's gone after him publicly, made fun of him publicly, critiqued him publicly. It's pretty crazy. I've never seen a president, although I haven't been alive for that long, but I've never seen a president just publicly like shit on his own cabinet like that. And Jeff Sessions got hated by Trump because remember, Jeff Sessions had recused himself from the Russia investigation. Now, when he did that, Trump hated him, and the hatred continued to grow. And despite the massive friction going on, Jeff Sessions he refused to resign as Attorney General. And also, one thing I want to add is, remember when Lindsey Graham had his little outburst? It's because he wants the job as Attorney General. But okay, so here's what this article from The Hill says. It says, Sessions out at Justice Department. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has resigned as the top Justice Department official at President Trump's request. A development that is likely to spark a firestorm of criticism following the midterm elections. The decision punctuates months of criticism by President Trump of his top law enforcement officer over his recusal from the ongoing Russia investigation, and it confirms widespread speculation that Trump would move to fire Sessions sometime after the midterms. Sessions agreed to resign at Trump's request. Quote, I came to work at the Department of Justice every day determined to do my duty and serve my country. I have done so to the best of my ability, working to support the fundamental legal processes that are the foundation of justice. So, if you don't know this dude, this guy is a horrible human being. He actually had the widow of Martin Luther King Jr., Coretta Scott King. She wrote a letter explaining why he shouldn't be confirmed as a federal judge, and he didn't end up being confirmed, and that is because he is a pinche racista. It's because I think he was like okay with like the KKK or something like that until he found out they smoked weed, and then he didn't like them or something like that. So that just goes to show you what kind of guy we're dealing with here. This dude is the low of the low. He thinks that the federal government should go into states that have legal marijuana laws. Of course, the supremacy clause of the Constitution makes it so that federal law overrides state law, which means that he can go in and raid other states that have it legalized, like California, Colorado, Washington, etc., because, of course, federal law overrides state law. Now, who's taking over? And this is going to get real interesting. So here we go. This article says President Trump's pick to replace ousted Attorney General Jeff Sessions plans to take over oversight of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. Quote, the acting Attorney General is in charge of all matters under the purview of the Department of Justice. The move means that Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein will no longer oversee the federal Russia investigation, which he has looked over since Sessions recused himself early last year due to his work on Trump's campaign. Trump on Wednesday afternoon announced Matthew Whitaker, who served as Sessions' chief of staff at the DOJ, as his temporary replacement atop the department after abruptly ousting Sessions. Wow, this is pretty crazy. And do you want to know why? You know who this guy is? This guy, there's a piece on CNN where he said that the Mueller probe has gone too far. What does that mean? Donald Trump just inserted someone to protect his ass from getting pegged by Mueller. That's what that means. Now, I read somewhere that there is his son, I believe Don Jr. was, one of his sons is about to get fucked up by some indictments on some corruption charges. So he is now inserted an acting attorney general that will basically cover his tracks, will prevent those indictments from coming up. And remember that this has been an issue going on for quite a while. And the question, of course, being, And this is similar to Brett Kavanaugh. Remember, Brett Kavanaugh was chosen because he was open. Not only was he a hypocrite about this, but he was open about saying that, there shouldn't be an investigation. There can't be, indictments on a sitting president. And so basically, this guy is there just to cover his ass. That's it, from the Mueller probe. That's exactly what he's there for. This guy is solely there to just protect and save Trump's ass from the Mueller probe. That's what he's there for, which is insane. That's crazy. So Trump has basically forced Jeff Sessions to resign. And by the way, Stephen Colbert sent out a tweet. It was something like, it's a sad day that, like, we're sad that Jeff Sessions has to go, or something like that. And that is so true. Like, Jeff Sessions is a horrible person. But the fact that Trump wanted him out means that we need to keep him in. Because not only does it prevent stuff from getting done, but, it was the only thing, I guess, keeping the Russia investigation intact. But if he does tamper with this, which I believe, here's the thing about, I want to mention this really quick too. Trump is definitely in violation of the emoluments clause of the Constitution because he's refused to give up his assets, and the Saudi prince and like his family they go to his apartments, to his apartment complexes, and what they'll actually do is they'll just go in there and just funnel money to him through that, because they go to the apartment and boom, and you pay money there, and who's it going to? Donald Trump. Whoa, that's totally not in violation of the emoluments clause. Yeah, it is. So totally grounds to impeach him on that. If this happens, that's 2 grounds to impeach him on. The articles of impeachment can then contain 2 things, but he shouldn't be impeached because I don't want Pence in office. That'd be horrible. So this is a really crazy story, and I will try to cover all of the subsequent things that come out after this.